Hey there, Java junkies. It's Andrea. Before we start today's show, I wanted to let you know that for the next couple of months, all of January and February, we're going to be dropping episodes with a different format from the one you've become used to until now. In fact, they're called the Time for Coffee Espresso Shots because they're actually mini episodes and they include 10 boilerplate questions or 10 espresso shots that I ask every guest in order to help Java junkies who are interested in getting jobs in those fields break into them. Now, with some of these guests, I've actually already released a longer interview with them about their career and their current job. So if you want to learn more about the guest I've featured in an espresso shot episode, just check out the show notes to see if there's another T for C episode that already exists with that guest. And chances are you'll find one. The second bit of news I wanted to share with you is that we have just finished our first Time for Coffee ebook, and it's called Spilling the Beans. And if you'd like to get a free copy of a preview version of the book, all you have to do is email me at Andrea@time4coffee.org and let me know that you'd like to get this free promotion that we are giving away to the first 100 Java junkies who email me. And if there are professionals or professions that you'd like me to feature that I haven't covered yet, please include that in your email. Thanks so much, everybody, and I hope you enjoy the show. Hi there, I'm Andrea Koppel, and it's Time for Coffee, the podcast where you get to hear firsthand what the jobs and careers that interest you the most are really like. Hey there, Java junkies. If you're interested in writing, editing, or the publishing industry, then this is the episode for you. But before I introduce you to Naren Aryal, I want to make sure you've signed up for the Java Junkies Journal. That's our weekly newsletter that comes out every Monday and gives you an overview of the 5 new episodes we're going to be dropping each day that week. Just head over to the Time for Coffee website at time4coffee.org and sign up. It is super easy. Now grab your mug and take a chug of a delicious caffeinated beverage because it's time for another caffeinated career conversation. And my guest is Naren Aryal, the co-founder, CEO, and publisher of Mascot Books, one of America's fastest growing and leading independent publishing houses. Mascot Books is a full-service hybrid publishing company dedicated to helping authors at all stages of their publishing journey create a high-quality printed or digital book that matches their vision. Naren is also the author of How to Sell a Crap Load of Books with Tim Vandehei, who is a New York Times best-selling ghostwriter, in which they share 10 secrets to building a killer author marketing platform that nobody else is talking about. Naren, welcome to Time for Coffee. Are you caffeinated and ready to go?
I am caffeinated. I am ready to go. Thank you, Andrea.
Wonderful. Okay, let's get into the 10 espresso shots. First shot. What entry-level jobs are available to young people who want to break into the field of publishing?
Well, I think since we are a publishing house and a lot of content is created here, we're looking for people who can communicate effectively, both written and verbal. And specifically, we're looking always for journalism majors, English majors, and communication majors.
And what are those entry-level jobs that they should be keeping an eye peeled for? What are those titles and what do they look like?
So project managers, production editors, marketing, various types of marketing jobs as well. Anything that you can think of that is useful in the world of book publishing, book distribution, and of course, book marketing.
Great. Naren, what is a useful skill or skills that you look for in the people that you hire at Mascot?
Well, first and foremost, I'm looking for people that are eager to come in and learn. We're located in Washington, D.C., so we're not exactly in the hotbed of publishing. Therefore, the number of candidates that we see that have publishing experience and background is limited. However, in replacement of that, we're looking for folks that are eager to learn an industry. So I think that's the biggest skill set and desire that we look for.
What about someone's major? Is it a deciding factor to get into your profession? And I say that knowing that you got your BS in finance as an undergrad.
It really isn't. As you mentioned, I have a finance degree and then I went on to law school. So not hardly two disciplines that you would think of when you think of the world of publishing. So it is not a deal breaker. What is, again, critical is the desire to come in and learn the various function areas within publishing.
Wonderful. What about a graduate school degree? You mentioned that you have your law degree. If someone wants to be and remain in the publishing field, and this is less of a question for the entry-level jobs, more so for people who are higher up on the totem pole, how important do you think it is that they have a grad school degree?
I think the answer depends on, again, whether we're talking about an entry-level position or somebody higher up in the organization. I know that there are some schools that offer master's programs in publishing. For example, George Washington here in Washington, D.C. does. So that's always a benefit, but it is not a necessity.
And what do you think the grad school degree adds to the resume? Again, less so for an entry-level position, more so for somebody who wants to really make it up to the top of the industry.
So publishing, like any other industry, ultimately comes down to being a business. And so anybody that has maybe a MBA or other management-related higher degree, I think it's useful as you rise up in the ranks of a company. And so, again, publishing is a business. So anybody that understands the nuances of business, not just the content side, but also the business side, that's helpful.
Wonderful. Naren, what kind of life experiences do you think are most useful for someone who's starting out in this field?
Well, I don't know if this is a life experience, but I think that somebody who's interested in books, first and foremost, is a prerequisite. We want folks that love books, love reading, and love writing.
Yeah, that would certainly make sense. And it's a great way for somebody to build their career if they do love books. So that's fantastic. What is the best part for you, Naren, of being the CEO of a publishing company?
Well, that's an easy question. I love working with content creators. Authors specifically are so passionate about their content, regardless of the genre that they write in. And it's just a pure joy to be able to work with these folks and help them bring their vision to the market in a meaningful way.
And I would also imagine that you're always learning because of the variety of authors that you work with.
I read a lot of manuscripts for sure.
And what about the flip side, Naren? What is the part of your current job that sucks the most?
So I would say for me, it's the administrative side of things. As CEO, I mean, I'm obviously working on publishing projects, but at the end of the day, we are a business. And the one thing that I'm less passionate about is the administrative side of running a company such as Mascot with 25 full-time employees. And I've got folks that do a great job helping me, but it takes away from the things that I enjoy doing the most, and that's on the creative and business side.
I think that's such a great point because no matter how high up you are in a company, there are going to be aspects of your job that are not fun, but just have to get done.
That's for sure.
Naren, what is the best career advice that you've ever gotten?
So when I started this company, now keep in mind, I came from a legal background, so this wasn't on my radar. And this is simple advice when I heard it, and I thought, that's interesting. Somebody told me to show up to work every day. Whether you had a good day yesterday or a bad day yesterday, it's important that you show up every day and do the work. And that advice I've taken with me during this 15-year entrepreneurial journey.
And by that, you mean really your attitude that you bring to work?
Attitude, and also further your business every day. So if you've had something terrible happen to you, sometimes it's human nature the day before just to take a day off. And on the flip side, if something great has happened, you might want to rest on your laurels and take the next day off. But showing up every day, doing something to further your business, it all adds up in the long run.
Wonderful. That is great advice. Naren, what movies, if any, or Netflix, Hulu, Amazon shows, or for that matter, works of fiction, do you think accurately depict the publishing industry?
I'm going to have to say Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Having an entrepreneurial endeavor, a company that you're building, it is really a war. And every day there's something that's flying at you and you've got to figure out how to handle it. You got to issue spot. You got to move on. And, I don't want to be gory or anything, particularly with the Game of Thrones reference, but sometimes it does feel like a battle every day.
I just hope there are no flying dragons that you're dealing with.
Not usually.
Okay, good. Final espresso shot, Naren. What would people be surprised to learn about this line of work?
So when people think about books and publishing, most people spend most of their time on the content itself, creating the content. And one thing that I talk to authors about every day is spend as much time and effort and energy on the marketing end of things. You can have the best content in the world, but if you're not mindful of how you're going to get the content out there, you're not going to get the results that you anticipate. So again, it's a mix between content and content marketing.
Great. Thank you so much. Naren, thank you again for making time for coffee today with me and the Java Junkie community. I really appreciated talking with you.
Andrea, thank you. This has been a lot of fun.
Thanks so much for listening to Time for Coffee, where the professionals in the jobs that most interest you always have time to grab coffee 24/7, no matter where you live. I have one quick favor to ask you. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe to Time for Coffee. Thanks so much.